A heavily loaded truck crossing a covered bridge causes the bridge to collapse. This would be considered an accident. A heavily loaded truck crosses a covered bridge 7 times without incident. On the 8th trip, the bridge, weakened by the previous 7 trips, collapses. This would be considered an occurrence.
Scaffolding on the outside of the insured's building collapsed and seriously injured Tom, a pedestrian. Tom sued the insured for his personal injuries. Tom's family sued the insured for the loss of family support as a result of Tom's injuries. Tom's employer sued the business for the loss of Tom's services. It isn't necessary for the claimant to be directly injured by the insured's negligence. All of these claims will be covered by the Commercial General Liability form.
Suspecting a customer of shoplifting, an Ace Mercantile employee refuses to let the customer leave the store. The employee, and his employer by extension, may be guilty of the tort of unlawful detention if it turns out that the customer is innocent. Wanting to check how well the tenant was maintaining the leased premises, the landlord let himself into the apartment one day when the tenant was away. In the absence of a provision in the lease to the contrary, entrance onto leased property without the tenant's permission is an example of invasion of privacy.
While on an errand for his employer, Wallace accidentally bumps into an elderly lady, knocking her to the ground. While the employer's bodily injury coverage will pay for any liability the employer may have as a result of Wallace's negligence, the policy will also pay for the victim's medical bills up to the policy limits without regard to liability. Note that this coverage applies regardless of whether the accident occurs on or off the insured's premises, as long as it arises out of the insured's operations.